Well, first of all, if you could just, say a little bit about yourself.
My name's Julia Albain, and the reason I'm assuming you're chatting with me is because I'm part of Team Star Kid, and yeah, I guess I fancy myself an actor and a director and a writer, but it's kind of always changing, and that's about it. Other than delving into all the other deep dark secrets of my soul.
Okay, so where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, um, which I think I still consider it home actually. And I have like a deep love for Cincinnati. So I think one day I'll end up there again. So anyway, Cincinnati is what I always consider home. So I grew up in Cincinnati. I'm the oldest of three kids, and my family was really, really great growing up and really tight. We still are. My parents are wonderful. They were always incredibly supportive. And yeah, like I always tell people I had like a kind of like a storybook childhood. Like I grew up in a neighborhood where all the neighborhood kids played and all the neighbors were friends. So like my childhood was like I just can remember summer evenings of like kickball and flashlight tag around the neighborhood kids and people walking up and down the street and stopping to chat with each other. And like I had these two really good friends that lived two doors down, and I would like race across the backyard to like go in the back door to hang with them and just like a lot of that stuff. Like I and my mom is one of 10, and she grew up like in like farm country, like Viola, Illinois, like population 300. And so I have a lot of memories of that too. Like I grew up with like a lot of like just just good like wholesome kid stuff. You know what I mean? Like having to entertain myself. Like me and my and the neighborhood kids like would make stories and like and having to do a lot of that. And then when I would when we would visit family, it was like like running through cornfields and stuff. Like I know it sounds so cheesy, but I grew up like having to kind of like entertain myself, I think. And that I think definitely like contributed to me becoming what I became, a storyteller basically.
That sounds like a really fun childhood.
It was really fun. Yeah, yeah, now that I'm older, I like realize how part of me can't wait to have kids so that I get to go back to that. You know what I mean? Like to live
Yeah.
vicariously through them again. Cause it's funny when I remember it. Like me and my brother and sister were just reminiscing the other day, and we were like, we had like a movie childhood. Like we just like did all those things that you see in like Now and Then. Like that was my childhood. Now and Then was my childhood, basically.
That's actually really cool. So then you went
hmm
off to the University of Michigan, and how
hmm
did you end up becoming involved with a Harry Potter musical?
So I was at Michigan, studying. I got my degree in acting. Um, so with Very Bad Musical, actually, I wasn't involved initially. Um, I was directing a show of my own that had a lot of the actors. Like I had just finished directing a show called Summertime. Lauren was in it, Darren was in it, Joey was in it. So I had been with them, but they at that time were also working on AVPM, and I just like I had done my own thing. And so basically I went in, my show closed and they were loading in their show. And so I went in like the Sunday before they opened just to help out because they were like scrambling, they needed help. And while I was in there, I think I was like painting something. And Nick Lang came up and he was like, "Do you want to be in the show?" Because they hadn't cast Crab. Like they'd never found someone to play Crab. So that's actually how I got involved. So it was totally random, totally happenstance.
But you were friends with some of them or any of them
All of
beforehand,
them,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's why I had gone in to help them because they
Yeah.
were, we were friends. Our department was really small. Like basically, you're in a class that you're with for 4 years, and each class is about 15, 16 people, and you're with those people like all day, every day. So even in terms of the entire department, there's at any given time only about 70 or 80 people in the department. And then, there's people in other majors, but still, it's like 100 people. You're with each other all day, every day. All our classes are in the same building. So it's like everyone knew everyone, and it was kind of like a family sense being there for sure. So yeah, they were all my really good friends, and we were all friends with each other. And the way so that show was produced through Basement Arts, which was like a student-run group, and the way because of that, it's like everyone was always working with everyone else. You know what I mean? In various shows, because you would do so many projects. So we all were really good friends. Yeah.
Of all the projects you did in college, which one would you say was your favorite?
My favorite was a show that I directed called The Last Days of Judas Iscariot. And you're smiling.
I've heard
Why?
about it.
You've heard about it, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, I actually have like 5 questions that she sent me because she loves you. She's
Oh.
actually in school for theater. I can't remember what her major is. And when she found out I was interviewing you, she freaked out and she was like, "Can you just ask her everything about Judas?" And I'm like, I don't think I can do that long of an interview.
Oh, that's sweet. Um, yeah, that was my favorite project. That was a show that, well, it A, solidified for me how much I loved directing. I directed before that, and I knew that it was a strong interest of mine, but that show definitely solidified it. It also was just, it's like you do a lot of projects when you're in theater, like you're kind of moving around, you're doing a lot, but every once in a while you get one that's just magic. They're all great, but they're not all. There's certain ones that are really special, and that was one of them because it was like it was a big cast, but everyone got along so well. Everyone was perfect in their roles. Like I didn't have to do anything because everyone was so good, and we all just gelled. The show came together really cleanly. It had a really powerful message, and we all just had a blast. We had so much fun. It ended up beautiful, and like I said, everyone was brilliant and had a powerful message. And the coolest thing was it has a strong uh I don't like to say religious because I think religious has a bad connotation, but it has a very strong spiritual faith-based message. And we had a cast of people that came from all different religious backgrounds and beliefs. And we actually, because the play is very, Stephen Elliott Gurgis is very, he grew up Catholic, so there's a lot of like Catholic principles, or Catholic beliefs, I guess, in it. There was a structure of Catholicism underneath the play, and so we brought in this Catholic priest actually to talk to us about some of that stuff. And it was like one of my favorite memories is this group of like 20 people, all with different beliefs, all with different religious backgrounds, sitting around and like very openly being able and lovingly being able to talk about these things. There was like no tension. There was no like hate back and forth between people. People were all able to just like sit there and say, whether I believe in God or not, right now we're in the world of this play, and like let's just talk about what this play is saying. And that was so cool. It was just so neat to see that happen. So yeah, I just rambled on, but I
That's
was
okay.
yeah, I love that's my favorite project for sure.
Okay, so you've done acting, directing, and writing. What would you describe yourself as if you had to pick only one? I know it's a tough question.
It is a tough question, and I'm gonna cheat with my answer and say that I can't tell you which one I am, because I'm all three. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I got into this place where I started calling sorry. There's like a really big thunderstorm happening here as well, so it's like funny because I'm trying. If I look distracted, it's because like it's yeah, like it's thundering and lightning outside. It looks really dark. Like it looks like it's nighttime. It's been a weird start to the day. Like I don't know where I am or what it is. So I apologize if I'm like distracted.
Don't
I
worry
also
about it.
apologize. I tend to go off on tangents, so just like redirect me if I'm a mess.
Okay,
Um,
don't worry about it.
I got in the habit of calling myself, well, but even that sounds cheesy. It's like I started saying like, well, maybe I'm just a storyteller, and like having to be okay with that because I go through phases. Like sometimes I'm more into writing. Lately, I've been craving to direct something again. It's been a long time, and I miss acting, but I would definitely say that like directing overtook my love for acting in a lot of ways. Like, but I don't know. I think you're also like, I have to remind myself that I'm still young and I'm still discovering myself. Um, so you go through phases where you say really strong things about yourself or really strong beliefs about yourself, and I think it's a bad habit. Like I realized I had to stop putting ultimatums on myself and my life because it's changing. Like I would say I don't think I want to be an actor anymore, and it's just not fair to say that because I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
2 months from now, maybe all I'll want to do is act. But today, what do I really want to do? Right now, it's like directing and writing is more special to me. But then again, like when we were in Orlando and I got to perform in front of all those people, I was like, oh wow, I really do like performing. So like I'm basically schizophrenic, so you can't like or you know what I mean. I like you can't nail me down.
I know
It's
what you
constantly
mean.
changing.
I had my
I
whole
also have a dream of like opening a bar one day. So you just
well,
don't ever ask me like what I want to do in my life because there's just too many things. You can't label me as one thing because it's just I'm a mess. I had a professor in college. We have this professor that so like a lot of us had him because all of us had him, and his name was Philip. And he said to me once, he goes, Julia, you're such a curiosity to me. I'd be curious to see what you do with your life because I just quite don't understand you. You're such a curiosity to me. I just never want to know. Are you a writer? Are you a director? Are you gonna have a farm one day? I just don't know. You're such a curiosity. That was like how he described me. So that's the best. I'm a curiosity. That's what I am apparently.
well, there you go.